Welcome to another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we talk about which wide receivers in Week 10 to start, flex, or sit.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom. Rolling on the field.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
All right, we're going to go through our own special stat machine to look at each matchup and see what is happening. So in Week 10, you have the Arizona Cardinals versus the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, we're going to have to start Marvin Harrison Jr. He's a start. Everybody else on that team, we're going to go ahead and sit this week. And when it comes to Seattle, we're going to go with Jackson Smith-Njigba and Torrey Horton. So that's our first matchup. Our next matchup is going to be Atlanta Falcons versus the Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, you're going to have to start Drake London. What did he do? Well, he's averaging 38.8 the last two games versus the defense that's allowing 33.9. So that is going to be a benefit. Drake London, he's already a powerhouse. And so when it comes to the Indianapolis Colts, Michael Pittman's doing really well. And then our stat machine is saying to go ahead and flex Josh Downs and flex Alec Pierce. Now, what does that mean? It means that we look at the wide receivers. Since there's two spots in a 16-league game, we're going to start 32 wide receivers. We're going to flex 16, and the rest are sits. Let's go to the next matchup. Baltimore Ravens versus the Minnesota Vikings. We're going to go ahead this week, start Zay Flowers. We're going to start Rashad Bateman, and you might want to flex DeAndre Hopkins because I'm guessing the Minnesota Vikings defense is super poor because they gave up 44.9 points the last 3 games on average. That's huge. When it comes to the Minnesota Vikings, obviously you're going to start Justin Jefferson. You're going to flex Jordan Addison, and we're going to go ahead and sit Jalen Naylor. All right, another matchup, Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. Now, this is where, our stat machine's going to give you a stat that you might not like, but this week it says you're going to sit Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, and Elijah Moore. Now, if you have some of those players, don't let this be the only thing that you depend on, obviously, but Miami is still boasting the third best pass defense team in the league. And for the Miami Dolphins, you're going to start Jalen Waddle, and then you can go ahead and flex Malik Washington because the Buffalo Bills pass defense is mediocre. They're ranked 11th. So there might be some opportunities for Malik Washington to do well. Our next matchup here is Carolina Panthers versus the New Orleans Saints. Here, it's surprising they only say to flex McMillan. Why is that? Is because the New Orleans defense is 22nd, but they've been tough. So he hasn't been doing too well, 12.75 versus the defense has only given up 28.63, so it's telling you to flex maybe him. And it comes here, Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave. Now, we know that those are studs, so take this with a grain of salt and look at the matchup to see what you could do. It really depends on who you have on your roster. Our next matchup is going to be the Chicago Bears versus the New York Giants. And obviously Chicago had a breakout week. The offense did really well. The problem I see here, DJ Moore is he's listed here over Rome Odunze. So that could flip-flop depending on how the offense goes. So I always think, but they're also saying Zacchaeus, you can go ahead and flex him. When it comes to the New York Giants, I keep on hearing Wan'Dale Robinson being starting, but I actually like Gunnar Azuki. He's done good last week. I think he has potential to continue that momentum. Both of these past defenses are not that good. At the next matchup here is the Cleveland Browns versus the New York Jets. And they go ahead for the Cleveland to sit all of your wide receivers there. On the New York Jets, they say go ahead and start Tyler Johnson, flex Isaiah Williams, and that is that matchup there. Now we're going to go ahead and look at the next matchup here, which is the Denver Broncos versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Here, depending on what league you're looking at or what YouTube channel, but Denver is going against the Las Vegas Raiders pass defense, which has given up 42.85 for the last 3 weeks. So there might be more opportunities for Troy Franklin, more opportunities for Cortland Sutton and Pat Bryant. Again, this is Pat Bryant's getting under there because of the defense. There's an opportunity there. For the Las Vegas Raiders, they say sit Trey Tucker, sit Jacoby Myers, and sit Alex Bachman. So take that. This is our stat machine. And the next matchup is, let's see here, we got a couple more to go through, is the Detroit Lions versus the Washington Commanders. Here, the Washington Commanders have almost the worst pass defense. So I'm looking for Amon-Ra St. Brown to do really well. I'm looking for Jameson Williams to light it up this week because there's lots of opportunities. And when it comes to the Washington Commanders, let's hope Terry McLaurin comes back. Obviously, we're going to have the backup. Mariota is going to be starting. So this could, really go anyway. Luke McCaffrey, he's probably out. So our stat machine doesn't take into injury account too. McLaurin, we have a couple possibilities here. So just look at that matchup more closely. But they're saying to start Terry McLaurin if they get in. Here we have the Green Bay Packers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Here I don't even see AJ Brown on the list, but he might be injured. He might be coming off injury. So they say to only flex DeVonta Smith. So Green Bay, Romeo Doubs, he had a good week. I saw him in the stats. So that might be something to pay attention to. But I would look more closely. But this is what our stat machine is providing. The next matchup, the Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're saying to flex Nico Collins, put him maybe your third position. And they also say to flex Parker Washington. So there might be, and saying sit Brian Thomas. So these are going to be something to pay attention to just because our stat machine isn't always right. And if you look at this, the rankings of most of these players, everybody's hitting about 45%. So we're going to look at here the Los Angeles Chargers. You got Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, and Keenan Allen. They're saying to start each one of those, even though I don't like seeing a start on all that, but they're going against the Pittsburgh Steelers pass defense, who's given up 54.03. So it's really inflating. So these are all the wide receivers you might want to start. When it comes to Pittsburgh, they're going against the 5th best pass defense. So I would really play it tight when it comes to which Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver you start. The next matchup is the Los Angeles Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco has the 24th best pass defense. Not too good. That's in that third tier, where you got the Los Angeles Rams in the second tier at number 17. So it says to start Davante Adams. He's gotten 23 points the last 2 games. Puka Nacua, he's warming up a little bit, so keep in mind he's just coming off injury, but you got to start him. He's your number 1 wide receiver, probably that got drafted. Here they're saying to start Jennings. You got Kendrick Bourne, and the reason why is that 37.35 is the Los Angeles Rams is given up to wide receivers. Our next matchup here is the New England Patriots versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here, Both the defenses are in the second tier. You got Tampa as the 15th best pass defense team, whereas you got New England the 19th best, so they're almost in that third tier. So if you look at Tez Johnson, Emeka Egbuka, and Sterling Shepard, so, it's saying to sit it, which you're not going to sit Emeka. So here you got New England, Demario Douglas. He was on your waiver wire, somebody to pay attention to. Stephon Diggs, obviously he's got the talent, but I like Demario Douglas there. And then we've already talked about Tampa. And that is the starts, flex, and sits for wide receivers in Week 10. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, good luck on this week's fantasy football.